All right, this is going to be video number 17, VR Maestro Competitive Analysis, VRBO Maps. So for that, we are going to go to about my competition, current VRBO maps. Okay. So the maps below were all saved on 1/28/2018. The first is zoomed out, and the other two are the same closer zoom. One, current VRBO maps 1/28, 2018, 3+ bedrooms only. There's a total of 46 listings. This is a VRBO map for three. It's a lot of repetitive stuff. This is a VRBO map for 3+ bedrooms for the given map zoom. It is showing 46 out of 46 properties in inventory. This is zoomed out. Some as compared to the above map. That should read below map. For cross-reference, Airbnb has 149 3+ bedrooms in inventory at a comparable zoom. So Airbnb has about 3 times more active listings in Baltimore for 3+ bedroom properties than VRBO, and they aren't known by many for their full home rentals. This has all happened, in my opinion, in the last 2 years. So VRBO has been slipping for 2 to 3 years. Maybe it's 3 years that this has been happening. And as people started not losing business on VRBO, they started going to Airbnb. Likewise, as people started getting successful on Airbnb with room rentals, people saw that and started adding whole houses, primarily because Airbnb they didn't use a reservation process. It was easy just to add your home, and if you could rent out for the weekend, it was found money. As opposed to somebody like me who had to go into business with reservation systems and stuff. So yeah, we got huge problems now with a flooded market from Airbnb that I'm sure the folks at VRBO did not see coming. The folks at Expedia, when they started this investment process, which is just what I'm going to call it, you're going to find out that TriStar Investing is tied to Vanguard Investments and Hilton Hotels and Expedia. I mean, they couldn't have seen the rise of Airbnb, I don't think. So I think that's what we're getting at. But anyway, this is the map, 3 bedrooms. And this is everything from now zoom. So that's everything with 3+ bedrooms in Baltimore. Zoom in. This is a zoom we're going to work with. So here's our 3-bedroom map of Baltimore. We talked about the west side, the South Baltimore, and East Baltimore. That's it, man. Now here's the kicker. All of these, but I think all of these but 4 are TriStar properties. So that meant that all of these but 4 weren't here in 2016. So, I mean, there's no better way to bring attention to yourself than to drop 7 properties in here in under a year. So here's the map. Here's the money map right here. All right. You guys can read it, but I'm going to go ahead and read it out. Just make sure I haven't screwed anything up or missed anything. Currently showing all 3+ bedrooms in Baltimore on VRBO, 33 total. TriStar put 7 of those into service in 2017. They also seem to be associated with number 92 in Charm City Suites. Number 91 and 94 were not tracked initially. They have no manager listed, and 94 has very odd pricing and terms. That's the one that I mentioned in the prior video where I was a little confused. So first, our filters. We've got all 3+ bedrooms. Okay. We're looking at 1 through 33 of 33, so there's nothing that's hidden. So we're looking at everything. My property is number 1. I know the guy that owns this one. I know the guy that owns this one. And these 2 folks have been in business forever. I didn't look at that one, and this one has didn't get off to a good start, has a bad review. And this is Michael Larcher's dot. He's popped in here when in fact he lives down here. So here I am, number 1. Here's Michael's spot number 2. Number 3 is Isaac Guerrero. In my opinion, he was the litmus test for TriStar Investing. Again, I haven't tied him to them exactly yet, but when you look at the photos and the timing and everything else, it looks like a potential for a straw buyer kind of situation. Number 14 is KHG. I didn't cover him on the competitor intro. Basically, I use KHG when we were booked. He was the last one to book up. So if I looked at his calendar and he was booked up, I had a pretty good feel that everybody else had booked. So I used him kind of as the litmus test of the market's pretty booked up. All right. So he had a place here. His other one isn't on here because it's actually a 2-bedroom. Number 13 is actually a 2-bedroom, so it didn't show up on here, and it's about in this area. So TriStar investing actually started out over here with Susan Caldwell. She bought these two, I think, in 2015. So these are properties 4 and 5 right here. Owned since the first reviews were September 2014 and September 2015. So I started watching her about the time she came on the market because her review count, man, she had a rocket under that review count. It was just skyrocketing. I mean, skyrocketing. And they were missing. The reviews were missing in my opinion, they were missing the standard negative feature. No matter how much somebody likes you or how well you're doing, there's always going to be a little something. Well, we didn't like the parking, or we didn't like the stairs, or the handrail was a little loose. Not always, but it'll show up in 3 or 4 reviews. You're going to see it. And I think if you look at her reviews, you're not going to find that. And so that was a little sketchy. But anyway, so who is TriStar? TriStar is 4, 5, potentially number 3. There's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And it turns out that this was registered to Charm City Suites Helen Kruger, but yet so this is, forget this line is here. But then when I did the listings and looked up on the VRBO, they had Helen Kruger listed as their investor on TriStar. So I made the connection here. So, and all of these red dots from 6 through 12, these all came on the market in 2017.